Kia ora, I'm Cheree Morrison from Whangārei District Council, and I am the District Development Coordinator, which means that I run the Whangārei Love It Here brand, and I'm all about promoting Whangārei and getting people to come here, live here, work here and visit. And today I'm with Aaron Taikato, and Aaron is our General Manager of Strategy and Democracy here at Whangārei District Council. Kia ora, Aaron.
Kia ora, Cheree.
So we're here today to talk about something really important, which is the local elections. And the reason I'm sitting here in this beautiful orange t-shirt is because this is my first year at council and my first local body elections. So I'm the guinea pig here. I'm ready to learn all about the local elections, and hopefully you all can learn something with me. And Aaron, you are here as our local expert.
As the local expert. Yes. It appears so, Cheree.
So today's topic is something that people may have heard about. It's been in the news a little bit. All local body elections are important, but this one is more so because we've got the vote on the Māori Ward. So I guess for someone who's not sure what that means, can you explain what the Māori Ward is?
Sure. So essentially the Māori Ward, we have two Māori elected members in our Māori Ward. So unlike other wards, they're kind of cut into different areas of the district. The Māori wards cover the entire district, and we have two elected members that sit in as part of that Māori ward. But if we go back to the history of kind of how it's evolved, and I think it's probably driven by the lack of engagement from Māori into civic matters. We had approximately 25% Māori vote, so we're 26% of the eligible voting population, but only 25% of that 26% voted. So to put that into simple terms, approximately we had about 5,300 vote out of the 19,000 that were eligible to vote.
Wow. So the Māori Wards, at the heart of it, is trying to give a better voice to our Māori population?
It absolutely is. So as I've just alluded to, there seems to be a resistance of Māori engaging with the electoral system, more so in local government than central government, but also there's a lot of work to do in that space too. So it really is about everyone ensuring that they're registered to vote, not just Māori, but everyone ensuring that they are registered to vote. Because our role in council here is to ensure that the brush of democracy is widened and that we have full representation voting in our elected members in the pending elections.
Yeah. So we currently have two Māori Ward councillors. Why has this become a topic? Why are we voting on this in this local election?
So there has been debate over the years, and I think that, since about 2002 was the first establishment of Māori wards. It was debated of whether they have them or they don't. They did, then came in around the polls. So basically, if there was a big drive from the community to have a Māori ward, then the council would pick that up and they would go through a process to ascertain whether there was an appetite for it or not. So they ran a poll. Mm-hmm. They ran a poll to see if the community members were in favour of a ward. And that only really took 5% of a petition to initiate that poll. So the council might decide, for example, yes, let's have Māori wards, and they put it out and they go through consultation that they are going to have Māori wards, and they start through that process. All they need to do back in the day was to receive 5% of a petition opposing Māori wards, and they would abolish their Māori wards. Right. So then in the previous government, Minister Nanaia Mahuta then scrapped their ability for polls to be able to be drawn from the petition reaching the 5% of the public. The justification behind that is that it's not done for rural wards, it's not done for any other wards, so why for Māori wards do we put a poll forward?
Mm-hmm. So who votes on the Māori ward poll? Is it just the Māori population or is it the Pākehā population as well?
So who votes on establishing a Māori ward through a poll is everyone that's eligible to vote can say whether we have Māori wards or not. And it's important to notice that too. And I have heard murmurs throughout the communities here in Whangārei that it's just Māori that vote for the Māori poll. No, everybody has a say, and it's important again that everybody registers to vote, because if we don't register, we can't have a say. Again, what I hear through the kumara vine often is that, well, what's the point of me registering to vote?
Yeah, right.
You know, the council's just going to do what they want to do, central government's just going to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
I think particularly for Māori in this area, in Whangārei, in our district, we're 26% of that's, just over a quarter of the voting public. Nationally, Māori are a fifth, 20% of the voting public. So it makes sense now, I think, that Māori do have a voice. We've got the numbers. I can understand why there hasn't probably been a great take-up, especially in civic matters and registering or voting in local elections. But yeah, it's important that we get involved, because this affects things like your roading. This affects things like what's your street going to look like. This affects the rubbish. This affects your park, whether the lawns get mowed or they don't, whether you have a park in your neighbourhood or not, whether you had good lighting in your street so it's safe to walk around your neighbourhood at night. All these things come back to council decisions. So we've got to participate in these civic matters.
Yeah. So what's going to happen now? I'm going to get my ballot in the post and I'm going to have the option to vote yes or no. Is that correct?
That's right. It's still old school. You will be receiving it in the mail.
To go check the post box?
Yes, open it up. One of the poll in there will simply say yes to Māori wards or no to Māori wards.
Right, okay.
So I just want to make it clear here that the pending elections 2025 through to 2028, we will be having Māori wards.
Right, so things are staying the same as they are.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we are voting for 2028 and 2031 elections.
Seems like a long way away, but it's an important decision to make now.
Yeah, that's right. So so that's important that we make that distinction, because we want as many good quality, good calibre people standing up to stand up, raise their hands and say, I'd love to serve my Māori wards. Of course, very similar to other wards as well, but it would be great to see some real good hard competition in that. And of course, we all want the best people to be serving us in council.
Absolutely. And that's across the board, isn't it? Māori ward or just the general local election. We just want the best people.
We want quality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what happens after I've ticked that box?
So after you've ticked that box, there's two choices. You can post it or you can put it into a ballot box. Okay. I'm just going to make this simple so that we don't get confused. You're best to post it back into the ballot box.
Okay.
Because of the time frames it takes for you to post something and it gets into the post, it might take another week, you can miss out.
Absolutely.
So what I would suggest is use the ballot boxes.
Yeah.
I believe that we might have something whack up magically onto the screen that might be able to provide something that an indication of where those ballot boxes will be sitting.
Fantastic.
But it starts from the 9th of September right through to midday on the 11th of October as well.
So I've got a whole month to
You've got a whole
make sure my voice is
but
heard.
Again, New Zealanders, we're famous at procrastinating. We'll wait till the last minute. Tell yourself it's a week from the 11th of September, you should be right.
So I guess to summarise, the local body elections this year includes an additional vote, which is whether you want to keep or disestablish the Māori wards. Is that correct? And it's really important that everyone, Māori, Pākehā, whatever your ethnicity is, that and if you're eligible to vote, that you take part in that and tick one of those boxes.
Yeah, that's correct, Cheree. So it's important that we have I mentioned that if you haven't received in the snail mail, if you have not received your package, your voting papers, by the 22nd of September. Remember, it opens from the 9th of September through to the 11th of October.
Yeah.
If you haven't received them by the 22nd of September, you can apply for a special vote.
Okay.
And you can ring up the electoral service and ask them to send it out. You can come into council here. You can go in through wherever they have a service. We will be rolling a service out here at Te Iwi-Tahi, the Whangārei District Council building in town here, from the 4th of June. We'll be running that. So that provides an opportunity, if you haven't received your papers, to come in and do a special vote.
Awesome.
Or register yourself.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. What happens if I've actually completely forgotten to enrol to vote? Can you still enrol after that time and then have your vote counted?
Yeah, and I actually think this is probably quite a common and a normal thing, is that you know, people hear about voting, they say, oh yeah, I'll have to vote this year. This sounds interesting. Oh, we've got the Māori Wards on. Yes, I'll vote. And we just don't get around to it because we're too busy in our day-to-day
Put
business.
It off. Yeah.
So if that happens to you and everybody's talking about voting and you don't have your voting papers on you, again, make your way into one of the service centres, i.e. into our building here at Te Iwi-Tahi, and just ask one of the friendly staff, our electoral staff that'll be working here, waiting just to help you get your vote across the line. And there's nothing to be afraid of. Our staff are friendly. We're normal people just like everyone else. And we're keen to help out. And we want to make sure, again, that we broaden that brush of democracy, that everybody has a say here in Whangārei District.
Fantastic. So what you're telling me is if any questions, any issues, come on into Te Iwi-Tahi and our elections team are more than happy to help.
Kia ora.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Aaron. It's been awesome talking to you today and getting to learn a little bit of your knowledge. It's been a wonderful kōrero, and I look forward to continuing this series and sharing some more information and helping you all learn as I learn a bit more about the local elections as well.
Cool. Thank you.